Regardless of the season, I really enjoy having a warm cup of tea or a coffee. Hoping you remember this felt coaster we made some time back, I thought of adding a mug cozy to my sewing collection. Now get your fabrics and scissors ready to make an adorable mug sleeve with me. Starting with the measurements. I'm using this regular coffee mug and a measuring tape for that. I think 3 inches is fine for the height of the mug sleeve. Considering 1/4 inch seam allowance on both sides, I'm adding a 1/2 inch to 3 inches. Let's measure the length from one end of the mug holder to the other. It's about 9.5 inches, and again, considering 1/4 inch seam allowance on both sides, I'm adding a 1/2 inch to that. This depends on the mug you are using, and fabric measurement for mine are gonna be 3.5 into 10 inches. You'll need a pair of scissors, a fabric marking pen, a large button, pins, a hand needle, a matching thread, and a sewing machine with a coordinating thread. Cut your fabric measuring 10 by 3.5 inches in size. I'm using cotton and we'll need 2 from that. Cut 2 fusible fleece with same measurements, or you can cut yours a 1/2 inch smaller than the fabric to reduce them sticking to the iron. Cut a small elastic band measuring 5.5 inches in length. To fuse the interface to the fabric, place the shiny side of the interface facing the wrong side of the fabric. As I mentioned earlier, I cut the interface pieces a little bit smaller than the fabric. Now iron on top of the fabric to fuse the layers. As you can see, they are nicely fused, and let's move to the other one. Try to keep the iron still for a couple of seconds and then move a little and do the same like this. After 2 fabric layers are fused with the interface, turn the fabric side up. Take the elastic band and fold it in half. Now place it on either one of the fabric layers, aligning with one of the shorter sides like this. We are going to sew the band to the fabric. Go to the sewing machine and make a stitch just to attach the band. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and at the ending. Make sure the longer part of the elastic band pointing towards the fabric. Trim all threads. Now place one fabric layer on top of the other, facing the wrong sides of the fabric together. Pin the 2 layers. We are going to leave 3 to 4 inches of space to turn inside out and sew it around. As you can see, I have marked the 2 points using a fabric marking pen, and I'm going to start to sew at one of those points. Do a little backstitch at the beginning, and I'm leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Stop and pivot when you reach the corners and remove the pins as you go. This project is one of the easiest things to sew, and you don't need to invest in a lot of fabrics. You can reuse some old clothes. You might need to get a little interface, and that's all. do a little back stitch to end the sewing. Trim all threads. Now cut the 4 corners without damaging any stitches. We are doing this to reduce the bulky parts when turned inside out. It's time to turn inside out using the space we left. The cotton fabric I have selected is more on a thicker side, and with the interfacing, it's a little bit harder to turn inside out. I'm using a wooden rod to poke the corners, and you can use anything with a blunt end to do that. Give it a little press to iron everything flat. We are going to do a top stitch enclosing this opening we left. Sew closer to the edge to make sure the opening is enclosed. Stop and pivot at the corners. If you don't own a sewing machine, felt fabric is ideal to hand sew this mug cozy. You can even do a little embroidery as well. Let's do that some other time. Always remember to backstitch at the beginning and at the ending as well. Trim all threads. The only thing we have to do now is attach the button, and you can select any of the sides from the 2. I'm gonna wrap the mug with the sleeve to decide where the button will go considering the length of the elastic band. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little loose or super tight. And I think this is enough. I'm gonna hold the button, or you can make a small mark there using a fabric marker. Thread your hand needle and make a knot at the end. Coming through back of the fabric, hand sew the button to the cozy. To tell you the truth, first I tried attaching the button before sewing 2 fabric layers together. I thought that way I could hide away all the threads. But the button was too thick. Because of that, fabric layers didn't align. So I had to start over. I'm just telling you this because mistakes can happen, but you can always start over. When you feel like the button is properly attached, make a couple of knots at the back. Enter the needle in between the 2 layers and come up through one. Trim the thread. With that, our mug cozy is ready to use. Now let's see how it looks on our mug. If you feel like you need more cover with height, increase your measurements. For me, I think this way it has more mug space while sipping your tea or coffee. Customize your measurements as you like, and that's the beauty in sewing your own little things. If you want to see how we made this cute little coaster, check out the link in the description. And it's also going to be somewhere on the screen as well. Hope you have enjoyed this video and please subscribe if you did. Thank you for watching and I'll join you in the next one.